If you followed Crazy Days and Nights, you know that one of Enty Lawyer's most infamous targets has been that of Dan Schneider, the controversial producer behind Nickelodeon's biggest shows, which we've been covering in this episode and the previous episode. For years, Crazy Days and Nights has published lines accusing Schneider, understandably, of disturbing behavior, fueling speculation that he was at a center of a dark, hidden side of Hollywood. These blinds gained massive traction, but they also had major consequences, sparking intense debates, leading to online harassment campaigns, and even involving a mysterious figure known only as John.
Danny Gossip Girl, Pop Culture Exposé. We're spilling all the secrets every single day.
Hey everyone, this is Enty Enterson, and happy to have you all listening to the first of what I hope will be lots and lots of podcasts. This is something that I wanted to do to kind of expand the website because it's kind of limited in its form, and I know that a lot of you have a lot of questions, and I know that a lot of you want me to take some deeper dives, which just aren't possible on a daily basis when I'm trying to write as much as I can in a short amount of time. So the podcast is the way to go. The goal is to do it 3 times a week, 12 to 15 hours a month or so, and just take dives on gossip, conspiracy theories, do some things on music and movies, just everything that you love all kind of rolled into one. Maybe you'll like all hour and a half of the podcast, maybe only like 30 or 40 minutes, but we're going to try have something in there for everyone, much like on the site. So for the first guest, you have to have somebody big, and I don't think I could get anybody bigger right now than John Doe. So welcome, John Doe.
Hi, Enty. Thank you so much for having me.
I am excited to have you here and spend as much time as we can talking about everything that everybody asks us all the time.
Yes. Yes, I'm excited too.
What is the thing that when you go through your timeline, let's say, that people ask you the most?
They want to know if I'm you. That is absolutely the number one question. Am I Enty Lawyer?
Yeah.
And no, I am not. I guess that will definitively answer this question.
So I really enjoy talking about this stuff and doing in depth, and that's one of the things that, you know, that first I think that everybody loves is that you basically have spent the time and gone through 12 years worth of stuff and then compiling it. And I think people love that because what it does is people don't necessarily have time to go through the 100,000 posts, and they miss a lot of the old stuff. And then they're wondering, oh, well, how long has this been going on and talking about it? And I think that's so important because you need to turn in people, and you need to do that. Well, you know, if I reveal something and you have 10,000 people, 5,000 people, 20,000 people, 1,000 people, 100 people read it, that should create some outrage. But, you know, apparently the only reason it created outrage is because of the whole Me Too movement. I think that if there had not been the Harvey, that these people would still be doing what they're doing.
I think you're absolutely right. I will say that kind of gets to why I actually started the whole Twitter account. Is because I was one of your original readers back within the first year of when you started the site, and I even remember where I was when you revealed the Jamie Lynn Spears blind originally.
Okay.
And I mean, I just went on with my life. I was like, oh my gosh, that's horrible. And then I just went on with my life for the next 10 years.
Yeah, you see.
And then after the...
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and then after the whole Harvey Weinstein thing, I thought people would start taking, I guess, your site and those sorts of things more seriously, and nobody did. And I just kind of decided somebody's got to put this stuff on there. I mean, I just felt like something had to be done, I guess. And let's see who else is in.
But how much of Enty's claims were true? And why did John Doe, a supposed key figure in this saga, suddenly disappear? Well, let's get into one of his other inner circle members. So let's break it down. As we get into it, for years, rumors about Dan Schneider's behavior circulated in Hollywood gossip circles, known for creating iCarly, Drake, and Josh, and The Amanda Show. Schneider was a powerhouse in Nickelodeon, but behind the scenes, there were whispers of inappropriate behavior, toxic work environment, and disturbing patterns in his interactions with young stars. Enty capitalized on this, posting blind after blind, painting Schneider as a predator operating unchecked. These blinds exploded online, with social media users dissecting old Nickelodeon clips, resurfacing uncomfortable behind-the-scenes footage, and fueling speculation that former stars had suffered under his influence.
Today my special guest is the executive producer of The Amanda Show, Dan Schneider.
Hi.
Now you're the executive producer of the show.
Yes, I'm the executive producer and the head writer.
You actually wrote the words we're saying to each other right now.
Yeah. Yes, I wrote this whole conversation that we're having right here.
Since you're the executive producer.
Give me an IC. Can we have an IC before since you're the executive producer?
I see.
Now, yes, now, I see now since you're the executive.
Hi, welcome to my jacuzzi. Today my special guest is the executive producer of The Amanda Show, Dan Schneider.
Hi.
Now, you're the executive producer of the show?
Yeah, I am the executive producer and I'm the head writer.
You actually wrote the words we're saying to each other right now?
Yes, I actually wrote this whole conversation that we're having right now.
I see. Now, since you're the executive producer of the show, can I have a raise?
No.
Okay. How about I play the spaghetti?
Nah.
No?
I'm kidding, I'll have some spaghetti. Bring the spaghetti. All right.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Very good spaghetti. Excellent. Excellent.
All of which is probably true. But do you know that from inside information? Or are you just grasping at the information that's out there? But anyways, the public outrage only intensified when Nickelodeon parted ways with Schneider in 2018 without a clear explanation. To Enty's followers, this was confirmation that the blinds were true. But here's the problem. Enty never provided any actual evidence, which at the end of the day, should it be on evidence? Obviously, people coming forward and speaking out themselves is evidence, and that has been done. But his blinds hinted, exaggerated, and suggested, but never delivered hard proof. It was a classic Enty move. Drop a vague accusation, let internet sleuths run wild, and reap the engagement. Then came John Doe. John Doe was an anonymous figure who supposedly had inside knowledge about Hollywood predators, including Schneider. He became a major player in this saga, claiming to have first-hand information and interacting with Crazy Days and Nights followers, whether or not it was in the comments section, whether or not it was on Twitter. At first, he fueled the speculation, engaging in threads, dropping cryptic hints, and seemingly validating Enty's blinds. But then something changed, especially after they started collaborating on Patreon.
But the friendship thing, and it's really made me conflicted, which is why I'm starting this whole thing off, is because...
Well, see,
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think I have the opposite problem of you almost, because I know for a fact that there are people who follow me who, like, because I'm not at all connected to Hollywood. I don't know anybody famous. I'm just like a cubicle worker like anybody else pretty much. I just enjoy the site a lot. But I do know, just in my brief interactions with some people and just knowing who follows me, I know that there are people who follow me who do know the people that we talk about, and that makes it, realizing that was a big deal for me, because it very much humanizes the people that we talk about, and it made it a little bit more difficult for me to, like, just throw firebombs, I guess, at people the way I kind of used to a few months ago.
Right.
Suddenly, John Doe began contradicting previous claims. He suggested that some of the information being spread especially regarding Schneider, was exaggerated or unverified. That almost overnight, his social media accounts vanished. His Twitter, gone. His statements, deleted. Any trace of his involvement was completely erased. This sent Enty's followers into a frenzy, including myself, as I used to interact with him. Some believe John Doe had been silenced, threatened, or pressured into disappearing. Others suspected he had been a fraud all along, maintaining claims just like Enty was accused of doing. But Enty, he never addressed it. He moved on, just as he had with countless other sensational claims in the past. More than being a toxic boss, while there's no doubt his on-set behavior was beyond problematic, the lack of concrete allegations beyond workplace toxicity leaves many questions unanswered, especially when you are speaking on it as proof. Did social media cancel Schneider based on speculation alone? Definitely at first, I think that they did, especially before the victims started coming forward. But without formal investigations, did internet sleuths convict Schneider in the court of public opinion purely based off of the blinds or the viral threats? The Dan Schneider saga is a perfect example of how Crazy Days and Nights operates. It starts with a blind, it gains traction, it spirals into online hysteria, and then once the dust settles, no one takes responsibility for the fallout. Schneider might have been a toxic figure in Hollywood and guilty of a lot of things. I'm not denying that. Please know that. But whether Enty's blinds actually exposed the truth or simply created a storm of speculation, or whether or not he grasped at information that was already out there, it's still up for debate. And as for John Doe, he remains a mystery, one of the many casualties in the Crazy Days and Nights cycle of gossip, intrigue, and vanishing acts. It was really wild when that happened. It was right around the time that Dan Schneider started deleting all of his posts and that Enty started collaborating with Gabe Hoffman, the man behind Open Secret. All of a sudden, all of that started happening, along with more details about Mr. Him coming out and targeting women. And I think John Doe realized this whole facade, this thing that he was supporting, all of the viewers he helped drive to it, was all bullshit. And he jumped ship and didn't want to have anything to do with it, let alone thinking about the legal repercussions that could come from it. Again, that's part of the reason why I'm doing this podcast, is because I did collaborate with Enty before, and I did bring a lot of traffic to his site, to his Patreon. But now I know what I know, and it's time for others to know what's up and then make their decision from there.
Tune into the buzz, it's the talk of the day. From Bravo shows to the latest celeb spree, we've got the tea, come sip it with me. Danny Gossip, Pop Culture Exposé, we're spilling all the secrets every single